This is my Safe School audit for Dr. Moody's class. My name is Donnel Clay. Some statistics about Goddard, Kansas is the day school itself is supported by 9 school districts: Goddard, Mays, Renwick, which is Andale and Garden Plain combined, Clearwater, Sedgwick schools, Burton, Conway Springs, Cheney, and Valley Center. Demographics for Goddard, which is where my school is located, is that it has grown 98% since 2000 to a population of 4,048. The median income is 70,137, and the median house value is 136,000. The race is primarily white, with 88% being white. This is a picture of our front of our school building. A couple of the problems is that you'll notice no signage that says what school it is. And then also you see that our parking lot has quite a few cracks and holes, and it's pretty rough looking as you look at it. This is the new construction that we have had. They completed an atrium. The atrium lets kids stand inside the atrium while waiting to be searched. We search every kid every day, and so they stand in here to keep dry and out of the weather. However, one of the problems, as you can see, is that it floods, and then it also drips from the ceiling, and so they're really not too much out of the elements, except they don't have wind hitting them, but they still get dripped on and their feet can still get wet. The summary of my school audit is that we have a lot of work to do. First of all, our school surroundings. We are located in an industrial park, and we have one evacuation route planned, and that leads us further into the industrial park to our cooperative offices. Truck traffic is a huge concern, as there are trucks going up and down the road all of the time. Also, we have to be concerned because down the road is a fertilizer plant, so we have hazardous chemicals. The building next to us is built just about 20 feet away. I'm concerned if there was an earthquake, which we have had recently in Kansas, but if there was an earthquake large enough to knock that building down, it would fall onto ours. And then outside the front, there is a drainage ditch, and it fills up quickly. It's not really a threat to the school, but it is a threat to staff cars that are parked there, and also buses and cars getting in and out to pick up kids. Our school grounds, we have a lot of buses that come in. We serve 9 districts, and most of them run 2 buses to our school. So that leaves around 18 to 20 buses, depending on how many students have individualized transportation. We have a few parents that drive their students to school, and this becomes a concern more so in the afternoon, as all the buses try to arrive about the same time to pick up the kids. So sometimes the buses are double parked out front, which leaves kids walking in between buses, and this is a huge concern for me as a safety issue. Our exterior lighting, one of my earlier voice threads showed the only lighting was the moon. The light was broke at that time. It has since been fixed, but they seem like they are broken, or somebody doesn't turn them on more days than not. Another problem is that when staff go out for a break, they prop the doors open, and that would allow an intruder to enter the building and go undetected for a little bit. And also, the way our building is built, it's such a long direct route that before we could be notified of an intruder, they could be into 2 or 3 classrooms before them. And a big concern also is that our dumpster sits out front, so not only could students or stakeholders of the community drop stuff in there that could, like a bomb or something, or also kids could fall into dumpsters, or even local kids around could fall into a dumpster. Continuing on the grounds, our water has not been tested as long as I have been at the school, this is my 11th year. We do not have a backup source of utilities, and we really do not have a playground. We have a fenced-in area that's half asphalt and half grass, and on that asphalt area we have a basketball court and a 4-square, and that's the extent of our playground. School buildings, our buildings need a lot of work: walls, ceilings, exterior walls. We need controlled access to our building, mold in the classrooms, and a fire alarm system that is not easily pulled by the students. The interior walls have holes from student kicking them or hitting them, and the whole building has not been painted for at least 6 years. The front door does not have a controlled access, um, so somebody can just walk in, and also as the doors in the back part of the building are propped open. Again, our fire alarm's pulled quite often by our students who are upset, and it is not tied into the fire department. We do not have two-way radios or any form of communication except through an all-call on our telephone system. Um, that would not allow enough time for all staff to be warned. If they happen to be on the phone during the all-call, they would not know that there was an intruder in the building. We don't have a bell system either, which would be another way of communicating problems. Right now, what we're doing is the principal or myself, we announce the end of each hour. The wiring in the building as far as phone and networking for internet is in poor condition and needs to be updated. Um, the Again, our utilities, we use public utilities, and there's no backup plan. Our air quality is poor. The air ducts, you can just see the dirt in them. The climate control in our building is a joke. I have two rooms that are joined. One of them is to the north, and it's controlled by two rooms up, two rooms further north than I, and then the other one's controlled by somebody a couple rooms south of me. So I have no control over my own building. This is some mold that is found in our room, or one of the classrooms, that shows the deterioration. This is under a sink, and all of the wood will need to be taken care of. To me, this is a critical item, and this is not the only sink that shows the mold. This is a picture of the carpet that's rolling up in several classrooms and is a tripping hazard. This is a picture in my classroom where the roof is leaking through and probably causing mold, but nobody has checked in the insulation. Another area that must be fixed quickly is that there is no lock on the mechanical rooms in our building, and this has to be taken care of immediately. The person that's responsible for these repairs would ultimately be our principal, who then would talk to our assistant director, and then she also talks to the director and the special ed school board. The cost to fix these things would be on estimate about $180,000 in to carpet the whole building. To remove the mold from two of the classrooms would cost an estimated $4,000. Fixing the locks would cost around $35 a doorknob plus labor. And then our locks on our classroom doors were installed where if we are in a lockdown, I have to step outside of my classroom to lock my door. So to reverse those around, I would think that our principal could do those. We need to improve our air quality. Climate control needs to be addressed. And then we need to develop a routine maintenance for our HVAC systems. Costs, the air quality test, you can buy do-it-yourself kits and send them in, and that'd be around $1,200 for that. To work on the climate control, there need to be some rewiring done in the building, and that would be around $10,000. And then just to develop a routine maintenance with a local HVAC provider. Again, this goes through our principal, the assistant director, and school board, special education school board. Some deferred maintenance that needs to be taken care of. We need to repair and paint the walls. We need to upgrade the internet and networking, and repair or replace the play area fence. Again, our principal would be the one to start this, and it would go through our assistant board. The cost of painting, we have around 9,000 square feet in our building, and an estimated to have it done would be about $6,000. To upgrade the internet and networking would be around $15,000 because the whole building will need to be rewired and we need new equipment. Also, the fence in our play area is in terrible condition. Kids have climbed on it and pulled on it, and it's just in terrible condition. And to replace it, it's going to be about $6,000 because they'll have to drill out the poles that are already placed in cement. The inadequate funding, there's several reasons. First of all, the federal government has never funded fully special education, so that is one of our problems. Also, the state government's cutting funding per pupil. We assess the 9 districts we serve a fee, and then that's because they're receiving less funding, then they have less to send us. And then a huge reason for us is that our cooperative budget is 98% salaries. The leftover 2% must cover the running of 3 buildings, supplies, equipment, and day-to-day needs of the cooperative. Funding resources that we could use that we are not currently utilizing is we need to start writing more grants and keep writing grants even when we're turned down. Right now we're doing a fundraiser in our school. The pairs are making candy dishes and they look like gumball machines. And to date they've raised over $200 for our student activity fund. We also need to approach local businesses to help with specific projects, for example, the fencing or getting playground equipment. Inadequate staff funding or training, excuse me. We have just the lack of training offered, lack of funds, lack of time, and then with our staff, an unwillingness to embrace new things. A person responsible for getting this to go would be our principal, followed by the assistant director and director. Some of the training I would like to see is a Mimeo board. We have those, but they are not utilized. We need to get some more training on those. One way would be is to free up, for example, my time, and I could learn how to do it and then train the other teachers on how to use it. But again, time is an issue. Use of technology in the classroom. We need to help our students learn in the way that they've learned, which would include technology. So again, if we utilize teachers' experience and have them train other teachers, that would be a cost-effective way of providing it. Some poor practices that we need to fix. There is no job description for our cleaning lady. This has to happen immediately. We need to have it written and presented to the board for their approval. There's also not no supervision or evaluation for the cleaning lady. There needs to be evaluation tool developed, and then there also needs to be specific times when she meets with the principal of our school to go over what needs to be done. There's no centralized system for work orders. This is a big problem because some people will just go out and hire something done without getting approval of our principal. There is no routine maintenance on our HVAC system. This is a problem because then it leads to costly delays in the use of it and also to have it fixed. We need to have scheduled routine upkeep on the building. We need to sit down and determine, for example, a rotation for painting rooms and just general upkeep. The principal needs to address with staff that there are not to be any doors propped open, and the consequence of doing that. And one of the other things we need to work on is electronic access to our school building. Public opinion. We have a very poor public opinion of what we do and what our building is for. The schools that we serve feel like we're a punishment place. We need to work with the businesses in Goddard to gain their support and in local clubs to get funding. We also need to have our school board come down and go through our building so they know what we do and take that back to our districts. We also need to work with our 9 districts that we serve and help the principal and the teachers see what we do. Curb appeal. Well, if we fix some of the things like this, like the gate that's all bent and the netting coming off, or this picnic table who's warped and old, that would help our curb appeal. We need to work on finding our smoke alarms. My principal assures me we have them. I've never found them. We also need to get carbon dioxide detectors. We need to work on fixing the carpet that's wrinkled. And most of these items are small, but except for the carpet, but can be taken care of. The student morale is low and staff morale is low, but we could work on that by rewarding staff and students for help upkeeping the building, also requiring students to fix whatever they break. You can also work on the morale by if a student has late dismissal for behavior, they could wash and clean around the building. The cost would be minimal, but it would be worth it. Our transportation is not an issue for us because we do not transport students, but I am concerned about how the drivers deal with it and that the buses are too small and cause fights. And final, schools need to continue to improve everything to do from teaching the students to caring for the buildings.